As we graduate from college, it gets more difficult to create friends and connection with people who are not your colleagues. However, creating a network and making friends in your field is a big part of success. And that includes making others like you. As an adult, how do you make friends? How do you make people like you? This video is brought to you by Answerly, a question platform that pays you for adding high-quality answers on different questions. The users are rewarded in Answerly tokens, which they can easily convert into dollars or any other cryptocurrency by using one of the exchanges mentioned in the description. Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we will teach you on how to win friends and influence others. If you're new here, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notifications bell to get updates whenever we post. Answering those introduction questions may seem to be a subjective process, but there are common tactics you can apply to make small chat a little easier. Leaders like Warren Buffett swear by Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, and Carnegie's lessons have stood the test of time. They are classic principles in the greatest sense of the word, and the fundamentals of this work are still relevant years later. These principles are not based on fads or trends. Rather, they represent the foundations of social intelligence and how developing excellent social skills may improve your life. We also provided a practice principle so you can also demonstrate and learn it by yourself from this video. Here are the 5 most important classic lessons from Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Number 1. Do not criticize, condemn, or complain. Carnegie states, any fool may criticize, condemn, or complain, and most fools do. He goes on to suggest that being forgiving requires character and self-control, and that this discipline will pay enormous dividends in your interactions with others. We can alter meaningful change by condemning others, and we're often met with resentment. It's important to keep in mind that when we're dealing with people, we're dealing with emotional beings motivated by pride and ego, not logic. Practice principle. Do you know somebody you'd like to influence in some way? When you find yourself being engrossed in other people's unpleasant habits or behaviors, ponder a few possible reasons. Say to yourself, I should forgive them for this because, and finish with an open mind. You'll be far better able to refrain from criticizing. Number 2, give honest and sincere appreciation. We can only get someone to do something if we give them what they want. What do the majority of people want? Health, food, sleep, money, and sex are all significant factors. Most of these desires are routinely met, but there is one craving that is just as deep and established as the desire for food or sleep that is rarely met, the desire to be important. According to William James, the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. Quote, we frequently take the people in our lives for granted and fail to express our gratitude to them. We must be careful to distinguish between appreciation and flattery, which rarely works with discerning people since it's shallow, selfish, and insincere. Flattery comes from the tongue, appreciation comes from the heart. We spend most of our waking hours thinking about ourselves, but if we stop thinking about ourselves and start thinking about other people's strengths, we won't have to resort to cheap flattery and will be able to provide genuine, true admiration. We have the ability to completely change another person's perspective of themselves, enhance their motivation, and be a driving force behind their achievement by speaking words of genuine appreciation. When we consider it in this light, when we have nothing to lose and only wonderful consequences to achieve, why wouldn't we express real appreciation more frequently? Number 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. Perhaps strawberry cheesecake might be your favorite dessert. Excellent decision. Would you bait your hook with cheesecake if you were fishing? Of course not. You prefer that, but fish prefer worms. Lloyd George, Great Britain's Prime Minister during World War I, was asked how he managed to stay in office long after the other wartime leaders had been forgotten. His response, he had learned that baiting the hook to fit the fish is vital. To put it in another way, offer people what they want, not what you want. This principle is crucial in influencing others. To persuade someone to do something, we must first understand what motivates them. And in order to do so, we must be able to perceive things from both their and our perspectives. Most salesmen spend their entire career selling without ever considering the customer's point of view, and then wonder why they aren't successful because they entirely disregard the customer's needs. If we can put aside our own thoughts, views, and desires and actually see things from another person's point of view, we'll be able to persuade them that doing anything we want is in their best interest. Practice principle. Before you speak the next time you want to persuade someone to do anything, pause and ask yourself, how can I make this person want to do it? How can I frame this in terms of what she desires? When writing an email with a request, try to replace I and my with you and your as much as possible. Make your words about them by crafting it. Number 4. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. We're frequently inclined to quarrel with others, especially when we're quite certain that we're correct. But even if we're correct, what good does talking about it yield? Why should you go out of your way to prove someone else wrong? Is it going to endear us to that person? Why not just let him salvage face if all we stand to gain is feeling superior? Not to add that 9 times out of 10, arguing only makes the other person more certain that he's correct. It's impossible to win a debate, according to Carnegie. We lose if we lose the argument. If we win, we have made the other person feel inferior, injured his pride, and made him dislike us. In other words, we keep on losing. What if instead of arguing with someone, we admit their importance through appreciation? This can expand the other person's ego so he can then become sympathetic and kind. To keep a disagreement from becoming an argument, we can welcome the disagreement. If the other person brings up a subject we haven't considered, we might be grateful that it has been brought to our attention. It might keep us from making a mistake. Distrust our first instinctive impression. When first confronted with an unpleasant scenario, our natural tendency is to become defensive. We should remain calm and watch how we react at first. Control our temper. A nasty temper only produces undesirable effects. Listen first. We can let our opponents speak without interfering, and we can let them finish without resisting, defending, or debating. Look for areas of agreement. Surface those first. Be honest. Look for instances where we may admit our mistakes and apologize for them. This reduces defensiveness. Promise to think over our opponent's ideas and study them carefully. And mean it. We warmly thank our opponents for their interest. They're interested in the same things we are if they're spending the time arguing with us. Postpone action to give both sides time to think through the problem. Meanwhile, question ourselves honestly if our opponents are correct or even partially correct. The next time you disagree with someone, don't respond with criticism or a harsh email. Instead, give it some thought. You'd be surprised how much perspective you may obtain simply taking some time to reflect on the situation. Number 5. Show respect for the other's opinion. Never say you're wrong. Along the same lines as not engaging in arguments, we should avoid telling someone they're completely wrong. When we say we're going to prove something to someone, we're basically telling them that we're smarter than they are and that we're going to teach them a thing or two. This appears to be a challenge. It arouses opposition and instills in the other person a desire to engage in battle with us. Even when we're talking on the phone, our smile comes through in our voices. Carnegie tells the story of a computer department manager who was desperate to find a PhD candidate for his department. He eventually discovered the ideal applicant, but the young man also received offers from much larger and more well-known organizations. When the boy informed the management that he had chosen his company, the manager asked why. I think it was because managers in the other companies spoke on the phone in a cold business-like manner, which made me feel like just another business transaction, the boy explained. But your voice sounded as if we're glad to hear from me, that you really wanted me to be part of your organization. A simple smile can make a big difference. This one is simple. For a full week, challenge yourself to smile at someone every hour of the day. A step-by-step approach of simply being a decent person, which is how you make friends and influence others. I believe that as we grow older, we'll lose our good-natured innocence. But this video reminds you how vital it is to be and do good, to compliment others, to make everyone around you feel good, and to empower people, which will eventually cause even the toughest individuals to melt. Aren't those things inspiring? Hope you got inspired on making friends now that you're an adult. Let's know your thoughts about this, how to win friends and influence other people in the comment section down below. If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. To learn more about Answerly and Answerly tokens, check out the links in the description.